I went on a search. I was looking for um, biodynamic or natural wines and Malbecs. It was hard. It was really hard. And just to demonstrate, I went on Vivino.com. And Vivino's great because it's like a review type app. If you hadn't been on it, you should check it out. And it would give Malbecs and where they're produced. So I looked up at least five, and 4 out of the 5 Malbecs didn't meet that criteria. You couldn't find anywhere online that these American wineries were making their Malbec with minimal intervention. For example, there was Jarvis Estate Grown Malbec from Napa. Pinterest Mendoza Malbec, also from Napa. Red Schooner Voyage, non-vintage from Napa. And Cooper's Hawk Winery, Velut in Oak District, California. Those four didn't even reveal that they were made as a natural wine. I understand if they weren't made biodynamically, but even as a natural wine with no added sugars and no added sulfites, no dangerous additives, nowhere did it say that. And you would think with people eating clean, that would be something that they'd want to show. Not a requirement. It's not a requirement for these wineries to list their nutrition information, to list their ingredients. And I get that. However, again, in marketing world, you would think they want that publicity and they want to show just what's in their wines. And I think eventually it will become a requirement, because if Make America Healthy Again becomes the standard across all food products and beverage products and anything that we consume, I believe that nutrition labels will become a thing on wine labels. You wait and see. See, I come down to this. A lot of the foreign imports don't have a lot of these chemicals. They don't have the ferrous cyanide. They don't have the Roundup. They don't have the Mega Purple. And so our American wines just run the gamut. They just decide they're going to put everything in it. I had to broaden my search. I had to start to look outside sources like Vivino and wine.com. And what I found were that besides California, I found Oregon and Virginia vineyards that make Malbec. So first one that I found was the Virginia 2015 Del Foss from Del Foss Vineyards and Winery. And it shows right on their website for, let's see, what is it? Yeah, delfosse.com, DELFOSSE, that all the Del Foss wines are made from grapes planted, nurtured, harvested by hand, crushed, fermented, and bottled. They do use sustainable practices. I'm not looking at sustainable, I'm looking at minimal intervention. So there's a difference. And it's that. So basically when it says that they're doing things by hand, they're not using machine, they're not mass producing. It's impossible to do all of those things by hand and mass produce. It's just not done these days. In order to mass produce, companies need machines. So that's a good sign. It shows that there's some artisan behind their wines. Number 2 is Arterra Malbec, which from arterrawines.com, This is also in Virginia, and they did say, these are their words, "We start by producing the highest quality fruit and conclude with minimalist winemaking, including native yeast fermentations, neutral oak, no additives, that's a plus, no concentration manipulations, and nothing is done to make the wine." Bravo, bravo, bravo. So our Terra wines, I'll have the websites for these vineyards in the link, so you'll be able to go to them. Final one in my search during this round was virginiawine.org, which showcased Horton Vineyards. Now, their description was that they went into the description of the grape. It is thin-skinned and needs more sun and heat to mature than some other varietals, making it harder to grow. Okay. We describe our Malbec as soft in tannins and lower in acidity, with strong raspberry fruit and herbal aromas. Okay, great. Now, right underneath that paragraph, they talked about residual sugar, 0.2%. I'll repeat that. 0.2. 0.2, not 20, not 16, not even, well, yeah. And those are grams, but 0.2% of residual sugar. So that means that the sugar is coming from the grapes themselves. So it's all natural. Bravo. Bravo, Horton Vineyards. So there you go, a little capsule of some of the wines out there. They are out there. You just have to find them. American wines made with low intervention. And I think that's the best way I can describe it. If you want to go to your wine shop and say, "Hey, I want some domestic natural wine," they'll know what you're talking about. If you just go and say, "Hey, I want American wine, from American wineries made with low intervention," if you get a spirit guy or a gal who's doing spirits only, they may not know what you're talking about. But if you just say, "Hey, I'm looking for domestic American natural wine," then they'll point you into of course, the organic, natural, and biodynamic section. And hopefully you'll be able to find some sources there. I will do another video. I was continuing my search, but I wanted to get this video out right away. There are a few other brands that I was researching, and I'm finishing up that research, so there will be a part 2 as to the other types of vineyards in the US that make low intervention wines in general. It's not just Malbec, but today I wanted to focus on Malbec. So hope you have a great rest of your day, and cheers to you.